Hey guys, welcome to our channel and please subscribe if you want to stay informed about latest electric vehicle news. So let's start with the first big news that we have, that there is a tweet from Jack Hollis, and he's the sales director at Skoda, and he's saying that he's launching a mid-size SUV next year, and at the moment they are assessing ENIAC for India. What is ENIAC, guys? ENIAC is the second electric vehicle from Skoda after Citigo IV, and they launched it in Europe, and they are planning to make deliveries by next year. And the chief sales officer, the sales director, has said that they are also envisaging ENIAC for India. That's a good news. We will have more electric models for India, more the better. The next is a news on Times of India. It's more of an interview of a very top official from Toyota Kirloskar Motor TKM, which is an arm of Toyota Motor Corporation, and he has said that taxing and regulation also need to be relaxed and changed in case you want to create demand for electric vehicles. This is very similar to what we saw in Delhi's electric vehicle policy, where they have actually diminished the road tax, they have diminished the road license fees, and they have altered the taxation structure, they have altered the regulatory fee structure, they have altered the interest loan interest structure. So these policies and support from government is required. Moving on to the next news, guys, the big news. Tesla's market value plunged after the battery day announcement by Elon Musk. Again, this can be found on this news can be found on Economic Times and other places. So by $50 billion, the Tesla's market value was slashed, and the reason was that Elon Musk stated that it will take around 3 years to bring down cost of a car below $25,000. That was what he said, and it really made people upset and drove down the value. $25,000, if I try to convert it in rupees, will somewhere come around 17,50,000, and that's the basically a point where an electric car will be able to compete with a diesel car or a petrol car in terms of cost. After this announcement, Tesla's market value dropped, and about battery day, there was no major announcement. It was just about how they will create more cheaper, efficient batteries and reduce cost, and about manufacturing strategies. So there was no product announced, there was no new car announced. Same news is there in Z News India, that it will take 3 years for Tesla to bring down cost of an electric car to an average of $25,000. Then there is an article on critically analyzing Delhi's EV policy. It's on Financial Express. If you saw my last video, I discussed the EV policy of Delhi, guys, and so that's a very good policy. Just to summarize, guys, two-wheelers will be getting a subsidy up to 30,000, and four-wheelers will be getting a subsidy up to 1,50,000. Therefore, the gist of it, make sure you watch that video in case you are looking for a summary of Delhi's electric vehicle policy. Moving on to the next news. In a rush to make green capital, Delhi to identify land for EV charging station. This has appeared on climatesamurai.com. So now that Delhi has actually made a target of getting electric vehicle charging station for every 3 kilometers. Now they need to identify land and get the job done. It's time for execution. Planning is done, guys. Moving on to the next news. This is installers sought for 1,000 EV charging stations nationwide. Contractors will be required to identify sites. This has appeared on pvmagazine.com, and this is more about a tender. State-owned electrical equipment, Rajasthan Electronics, actually backed a government order of 1,000 electric EV charging stations under FAME program. If you remember, this was part of the original 2,700 electric charging station which the central government has envisaged, and REL will be doing this in 75 cities. So good, we will have more charging station, more the network, more the demand for electric vehicles. And now just let's see what's happening on Twitter, if anything good or big has come up. So just people are posting things on Twitter. There is one thing that ET Auto has pasted a news article where penetration of electric vehicle will remain low. That's a very bad news in medium term in these segments. We'll look at this article in meanwhile. Similarly, we will look at this another article, a contradictory article by ET Auto, that age of electric vehicles may arrive before than it was envisaged. Now let's first look at this article. This article talks that electric vehicles may arrive much before than expected. Now this article is talking about Europe, that after car sales had collapsed in Europe after the pandemic, but the sales of electric cars was steady. That's a very good news, and that's a really good news that electric vehicles are actually have hold steady sales, and that's a good news. So if this process is replicated in India, which means in India also the sales will be good. Now coming on to the bad news, the penetration of electric vehicles will remain low in medium term in passenger vehicles and commercial vehicles. So I think they're talking about the four-wheeler cars on passenger and commercial sides, but as I have said again and again, guys, that two-wheelers and three-wheelers are the markets. India is a two-wheeler and three-wheeler primarily market, and that's where major of the electrification will happen first, and then four-wheelers will come into picture. So that is not new news to us, but it will take some time, and there is, like, these people need to define what the medium term is. What do you mean by medium term? Is it 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? Well, that's something really they need to tell the viewers. And however, if the policy like Delhi government's policy come up, then definitely there will be a surge in passenger vehicles as well. Who will not want to take a subsidy of 1,50,000? So that's a really good news. And so this was the today's news bulletin for electric vehicles. Stay tuned. Please subscribe to the channel in case you want to learn and hear more about electric vehicle news. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.